Now, don't you think for 1 second that just because I'm friends with Steven, the haha funny Shin meme is going to be appearing in this video.
Ha! Psych!
Hello ladies and gentlemen of the internet, it's RJ, and today we'll be taking a look at the SH Monsterarts Shin Godzilla, and it's the reissue so it doesn't look as bad, I promise. Starting with Articulation, it's a real doozy on this guy. First of all, you have the head joint, which I'm assuming is a ball joint because it can do all this good stuff. Then you have the lower jaw, which is also a ball joint, but if you want him to not look ridiculous, you have to kind of line him up together. And he still kind of looks goofy anyways. I assume, no, the head itself is not on its own little ball joint, but this lower section of the neck is, and if you're not careful, his little rooster waddle can get stuck and it won't move. Ball joint at the base of the neck. His gross little mushroom shoulders have ball joints, they don't really work though. Bicep swivel, also a ball joint. Elbow hinge, ball jointed wrists, but there's only one and I don't trust it because it looks kind of fragile. Joint at the waist, nothing for the chest, so his creepy little rib cage is intact. The plates on the back get in the way, so you're not going to get a whole lot of backwards motion, but you can do that. And that's to go even further beyond. Thigh joints, this one was very loose when I first opened it up, so I put a little bit of clear coat on there and fixed it right up. Hinge at the knees, and his knees are free floating pieces, so that's always nice. And his cankles are articulated, which is cool. Next up, you have 4 billion little ball joints in the tail. And since it's usually going to be floating upright, I don't know if I trust these joints to not give in over time and he just gets flat down to the ground like a big noodle. Now moving on to detail, this is where things get, let's say, interesting. First things first, yes, the eyes are both facing the same direction. That was my biggest worry and thankfully it was quelled. Now on to the fun part. The figure doesn't really look like it's painted all the way. Look at the tail, namely. You have red, red, black, black, half red, black, red, etc. You also have this nice big black splotch on the tail. I think this little tail tip is probably the one thing that the original did better. The face is still there. Don't you worry, little buddy is still going to be on the shelf with you. The creepy little tiny toes are painted in, which is nice. Here's his nuclear cankle knee. Fingernails are painted in, which is cool. I'm glad that they aren't bleeding onto the fingers like the first one. The ribs are all in there. There's no red to really make them pop. And the head kind of looks like it's sort of half painted. You can see a very strong red tint. You may not be able to pick it up on camera, but I definitely can. Inside of the mouth looks nice and wet. Teeth are all painted properly, which was my second biggest fear. Thankfully also quelled. They're all in there, which is good. This is a $120 figure after all. I don't think this should have to really be a problem. You got the exposed muscle on the back. You have the red tint on the spines. So the figure just kind of feels like it's significantly more half-assed than the first one. However, that's probably the reason it doesn't look nearly as bad. What I mean by that is if you don't really paint a figure all the way, there's less paint to mess up. For scaling, here we have Shin with some assorted dudes. There he is with the SH Monsterarts Burning Godzilla, and there's the Ultra Actiga. For packaging, I'm not going to get into too much detail since I already did an unboxing for this figure and I don't want to take away traffic. But in short, it's big, it's girthy, and it's red. There's the name of the movie. There's the big plastic bubble Shin is supposed to be in. Here's some neat little promotional pictures. And the back is supposed to be styled off the first picture we saw the design, so that's kind of cool. The bottom has Shin on it, such as tradition. Overall, this box is gorgeous, especially this part right here. Not too crazy about the bubble design, but it did let me know that my figure wasn't disfigured, so I guess I shouldn't take it too much for granted. Alright, this has been a real wild ride, but I'm sure this is what you really want to know. Is it better than the first one? Well, if you're trying to buy it secondhand, you won't be able to tell anyway, so that's more of a dice roll, but yes, this is arguably better than the first release. The paint on the head is significantly better. The tail looks kind of nasty, but oh well. The paint, well, that's just unfortunate. The paint isn't as vibrant, and that's probably a good thing, because I don't think I trust Bandai with that much red paint to begin with. And for the price, it depends how much you like the design, I suppose. I'm a massive fan of the design, so I didn't have as much of a problem dropping 120 clams plus Amy Amy's ridiculous shipping cost. Yeah, I said Amy Amy, it's a joke. It is a noticeable improvement in some regards, and it's not really that much of an improvement in others. So personally, if you like what you see, go for it. If you were expecting a complete overhaul and a handwritten apology from Bandai, that's not going to happen. I'm very sorry, I wanted that too, but it just isn't going to happen. So it's up to you whether or not this is a massive improvement. It is to me, at least.